What's going on, everyone? Darkwater here, and welcome back to Planet Coaster 2. Better late than never. Life happened this week, so things were a little bit of a struggle. Plus, I spent a couple hours just kind of building on my own, experimenting, seeing what can be done, what can't be done, what shouldn't be done. And things were. I came up with some interesting ideas, but we'll see if they come to fruition later on. But this week, do get a little bit done here in the front entryway to both the water park side and the ride park side. And at some point, I'll actually come up with names for these two parks. Because again, I'm kind of envisioning them as separate entities, similar to Disneyland and California Adventure. So, two separate kind of parks. Now, in my experimentation, I did come to the realization that yes, I'm going to have to connect everything together. So there will be a path going from the pool side on the resort to the water park, and then connection between the water park and the ride park and everything else. So there does need to be some kind of cohesiveness to that, so that the people can at least wander between them. So we're building on the water park side, getting a couple of ticket booths in here, and doing kind of a little awning, just made out of just wooden beams, and just goes all the way across the front. It does get mirrored onto the other side, and I do run into some issues at some point as well. Um, the two information kiosks that we're using for ticket booths, I do end up centering those a little bit more because it doesn't feel right really with where it is now. And so we slide the right one over a little bit, and then it looks a lot better that way. There's not a half wall vertical, so I end up using one of the coaster pieces to get the wall a little straighter. There's a little bit of tweaking here and there that I still need to go back and do, especially lighting in the center area, and that's one of the things that I was experimenting with this week is some of the lighting, and we'll see if I can get my idea to work, but I'm not 100% on it. The whole central area here, the whole two ticket booths, as in the water park side and the theme park side, the whole area is probably going to get shifted towards the drop off area, probably back to where it was to begin with. What I did not get recorded though is I tweaked the front of the Arcadium Hotel. So there is foliage there, there is lights along the pathway, and we'll do whenever we do the walkthrough at the end, we'll take a look at that as well. But end up using the blinds to as kind of just a striping around the front, and I really like how it looks. It's a unique look. I wish there wasn't. I don't know if it's possible to get rid of the edge of the curb, or the gray curb edge between the pathing and the grass. I don't know if there's a way to get rid of that, but sometimes it's a little bit of a hindrance. I was trying to put the two planters together, and then I realized there's a planter that's exactly the size. And then I was kicking myself for that. But we do eventually get some plants in there as well. There's flowers similar to what's in the base of the two pillars. I had a name for the water park, and I didn't write it down, and now I don't remember what it was. And kind of kicking myself for that. I like the idea of having some kind of forward-leaning area like this. It took me a minute to figure out how to do it because it there's no pieces specifically made for it. I do eventually put windows on the angled side, but then looking at it, it didn't feel natural because I don't know if there would necessarily be any kind of reason to have windows there. I liked kind of like the idea, but it didn't it didn't feel right. So I do end up taking those windows out, doing windows just above the trellis there. Um, and I think that works. I still keep the angle though. There will probably be lighting of some sort up there once we get the name of the water park. Once I remember what it is. In this building that we're working on, there is the two guest services, and then there is also a staff room, and then I left space for a couple bathrooms. I contemplated doing a changing room in this area, but I think we're just going to leave this as kind of a front guest services area to begin with, and then from there we will get into the park itself, and then have kind of a changing area plus the I think it's a dryer. But yeah, the front guest services area, I think we're just gonna do bathrooms, guest service, the staff room, probably probably some food of some sort up here. I do have to do a second building to get the angled portion, which then kind of creates havoc as I'm trying to move scenery back and forth between the two sides. Um, it gets even worse whenever I try and flip it to the other side, but we make it work. Add a little bit of greenery to that corner there in a minute. We also get some lighting on the rocks and the waterfall, but we'll take a look at that whenever we do the walkthrough as well. I don't know if I'm going to continue the blue blind area into the park, but maybe. But we get some flowers. We get a ticket sign kind of in the middle there, so people can get their tickets into the water park or the theme park. I might change the lettering on this though, because it looks very small whenever we finally decide on a font. Um, yeah, it looks fairly small. So there's just a default ability to just to write, and I might just blank that tickets out and then go with that. Uh, do the two submarine windows, I guess. I guess that's what those are. And I do not do that on the theme park side because I think that'll uh, kind of, as much as it's mirrored, I do want to have a little bit of personality between the two parks. But just kind of a uniformity between the two sides, but with a little bit of quirks. I tried just copying it, and it was the game was not having it because I have a bad tendency of getting out of the building to put some scenery in, and I don't bother to link it back together with the original building, which is something I need to get better with. Couldn't decide what to do with the rest of the awning. This the trellis there on the above the park entrance itself. I would have. It's getting the support in there, which was kind of bothering me. So I do kind of an angled one here, and it works. I don't know how sold I am with it. I might go back and retweak that just to get some kind of vertical support in there. Yeah, here we get a little bit of greenery in there, and then we will start to try and flip everything over, which was a really good idea to start with. And then I realized things go sideways real fast because things are not things are not even. So we start by moving that across, and then I realized that the trellis is not, it doesn't line up, so I have to go back and move everything, which becomes a bigger frustrating proposition. And there comes a point that I have to try and figure out, is this even directly across, like right here? I end up going into first person just to see if I could turn around and see if it is actually directly across in the correct place. And here's where we run into some issues because the half wall should be on the far left and it's on the far right. So it's close to being where it's supposed to be. Have to move the entire trellis over, have to move the windows over. But we eventually get it done. I don't know why I've been going to the blue tones. I it's going to be a very blue park, I feel. We'll probably do a lot more variation of color within the theme park ride area. I just realized I think there's still windows that I'm missing over, or those windows still exist on the other side of the building. We'll probably keep the staff room on the theme park side as well, where it is, because I'm sure we're gonna need it. Try to copying these, and it didn't go well at first because I kept on grabbing the entire building, which not conducive to things. Yeah, here's where I run into issues with the trellis being in the wrong place because there's more on the left hand side than the right hand side, and so I have to rebalance everything, which wasn't too horrific. It's not as bad as it could have been. This corner in between the two buildings, there's something odd, and I don't honestly know what it is, but I will definitely get that tweaked whenever we get the ride name or the park names in there. So that'll get taken care of in time. It's just right now it's a lot of it is just trying to come up with the name, and I don't remember what I was going to call it. But we get the two park entrances done, and excited that we'll be able to start to start in on the water park area probably in the next video. But it's just moving the last odds and ends into place on this side, getting some flowers in there. I do go back and put those in on the other side, and as well as get the trees into the corner over here. So yeah, I think we'll jump into Planet Coaster 2 and do a quick walk around and check out things in first person, kind of get a little bit better plan going forward. Okay, so we will take a quick walk through, a little bit close to sunrise here. Really like the colors contrasting what we've built so far. Still a little bit more lighting. I think the lighting's going to take more precedent once we get the names up there, and we'll do some coaster design above on the entrance over here to the coaster park. Did a little bit of lighting around the waterfall, however, and the same thing over on this side once I remember what the name I was going to use for the water park, and then we'll do a little bit of design above that as well. And then again, probably slide this back. We'll take a look at that in just a second here. But did the Arcadium lighting and Arcadium walkthrough here. So a little uplighting into the palm trees. There's some green lights up in the top, and then just some uplighting along the tree trunk, and then did a little bit more lighting along the very top of the Arcadium there. And I think it looks pretty good. Let's real quick jump back to regular daylight hours here, and we can zoom out and take a look at the main park area here. This whole area, I think I'm going to slide forward a little bit, close this gap in between the end and the front where the Arcadium is. Just noticed. Me. I Nope. There we go. Okay. Now I'm happy. But yeah, want to push this forward a little bit, and I think probably do that in between episodes. Grab this whole area, just bump it back forward, probably about to where it was whenever we started the series, and then I kind of want to start working on the water park. You're basically going to come through. There'll be a little bit of food and drink along the front area, maybe some gift shop kind of things. I don't actually know what gifts they have for the water park side, if there anything is different. Then probably the wave pool will be right in the front here, and then you can go on either side, and then we'll run some of the smaller pools, the water slides, kind of in this area. As for once you go through the other side, just kind of a main strip to the rides, some flat rides, kind of barricaded with some coasters along the outer edge. And we'll have a fourth gate over here. Well, third gate essentially, using fourth if we're counting the resort area as its own gate. But I have other thoughts on this. This area will probably happen sooner so that we can figure out where the rest of the park is going. Doing a little bit of experimentation in between, just adding some rides over here. I think I am going to have to connect everything up. So there'll probably be a pathway from probably about here into the water park area. The water park will connect into the rest of the rides. So that's kind of where things are heading. Um, I do enjoy where things are going so far. Hopefully you guys are as well. I'm going to go ahead and leave this here. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate you guys for being here, and I look forward to seeing you guys again in Planet Coaster 2. And as always, I hope you guys have yourselves an amazing day.